Throughout history, there have been instances of common objects having sinister events occur to those around it. You can't help but wonder if it's all a coincidence or the work of malevolent forces. From James Dean's car to the real-life inspiration for the movie Annabelle, here are some of the world's most cursed objects. Number 15. The Woman from Lem statue. Also known as the Goddess of Death, the Woman of Lem is a statue that was excavated from Cyprus, Greece back in 1878. The statue is made out of pure limestone and looks similar to these same limestone statues in the picture before you that were also found in Cyprus. It belonged to 4 different families who each met their end while in possession of the statue. It eventually came into the hands of a curator for the Royal Scottish Museum who passed away within a year of handling the statue. To this day, it still sits in the museum behind glass. Number 14. BELCOURT Castle Chairs. This mansion was constructed way back in 1894 as the home for wealthy American socialite Oliver Hazard Perry Belmont and his family. Today, the house is used as a place that offers a few haunted tours to experience the paranormal that lies within its walls. The place is said to be cursed with the spirits of those that have long since passed, like the apparition of a monk. There are also 2 chairs located in the Gothic ballroom that have been known to physically remove individuals who try to sit on them. The screams of a man can be heard coming from his once-owned suit of armor that he took his last breath in. Number 13. The AVERS Rock. This massive sandstone rock formation can be found in central Australia, where its significance is of the utmost importance to the local Anangu, a tribe of Aboriginal people. The AVERS Rock, or as the Anangu call it, Uluru, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site that is very much sacred. That's why it's no surprise that there is a local legend that tells of a curse waiting to befall those who dare defy the rules. Anyone who takes a rock from the formation will be, quote, cursed and suffer misfortune. Many people who have removed rocks have ended up mailing them back to local agencies in order to remove the said curse. Don't take that which is not yours is the lesson here. Sadly, unfortunate souls have succumbed to the rock while trying to climb it. Number 12. King Tut's Tomb. The young Egyptian pharaoh's reign came to an end at the unripe age of 18 in 1323 BC and was laid in his final resting place that would be discovered some thousands of years later in 1922. Those who excavated the young ruler's tomb were attributed to what is known as the Curse of the Pharaohs. Many believe it was just the hype that the news printing companies came up with in order to draw more sales of newspapers. Other people are skeptical and truly believe that a curse was enacted as some of the people who entered the tomb passed away. Their ends were associated with the curse, but others aren't so convinced. What do you all think? A coincidence or a curse? Number 11. James Dean's car. It was Dean's customized 1955 Porsche Spyder, nicknamed the Little Bastard, that he was riding in when his life was tragically cut short too soon. The Hollywood actor was warned by fellow British actor Sir Alec Guinness that he sensed something sinister about the car, and warned Dean that in a week's time he would be in a grave if he kept driving it. The eerie prediction came true as James Dean had his infamous accident exactly a week later to the day. The car then caused a slew of accidents and demises to people who handled it, with a few being crushed. As of today, no one has any clue as to the location of the cursed car. It simply vanished. Number 10. Anna Baker's wedding dress. The tragic tale of one Anna Baker is more sorrowful than scary. In the mid-1800s, Miss Baker managed to fall in love with one of the ironworkers from her father, Mr. Ellis Baker's factory. She was so excited that she had a wedding dress commissioned. Her father soon found out and drove the man out of town as he would not have his daughter marry someone of a lower class, leaving poor Anna with a broken heart. She spent most of her time alone in her room until she passed away in 1914. Her would-be wedding dress now lies in her family's mansion turned museum, where tourists hear strange voices and will see the dress, quote, dance slowly. Number 9. The Anguished Man. Similar to the painting titled The Scream that you see before you, The Anguished Man is much more unsettling. Upon a blue background is the distorted face of a man etched into an eternal scream, painted with deep reds, oranges, and yellows. As one of the world's most famous haunted paintings, you know its backstory is sure to be of the spine-tingling variety. It's said that the individual who painted this was so deeply disturbed that they used their own blood mixed with the oil paint and offed themselves a mere 2 hours after its completion. The painting currently resides in the home of one Sean Robinson in Cumbria, England, where he and his wife have heard unusual noises, doors slamming on their own accord, and other paranormal activities. Number 8. The Hands Resist Him Painting. More commonly known on the internet as the quote, eBay haunted painting, this famous piece depicts a boy standing next to what appears to be a female doll. Behind the two are several hands pressed up against the glass panel door that seem to be reaching out to them. The painting was created by a man named Bill Stoneham back in 1972, but it took on a life of its own as an urban legend back in February of 2000 when it was sold on eBay. The elderly California couple who put it up for sale said the characters in the painting would move at night or leave and enter whatever room they were in. Also, an art critic and a gallery owner who displayed the painting both passed away a year after coming into contact with it. Number 7. The Crying Boy Paintings. The original paintings were created by an Italian painter by the name of Giovanni Bragolin as part of his series titled Crying Boys. The pictures of tearful children were mass-produced and widely distributed around the world during the 1950s and onwards. It was during the mid-1980s that The Sun, a British tabloid newspaper, sent out a story that claimed a local Essex firefighter was finding copies of the paintings in the remnants of burned-down houses completely undamaged. The story quickly spread all over that The Sun held mass bonfires for the paintings that local readers sent in out of fear of their houses burning down. Number 6. The Hope Diamond. This famous jewel is known the world over for its immense beauty and rather unusually large size. The 45.2 carat diamond is currently appraised at a value between $200 to $250 million. The Hope Diamond isn't just known for its beauty, but for the bad luck that follows anyone who's ever been in possession of it. The legend dates back all the way to when King Louis XIV of France and his wife Marie Antoinette were beheaded as part of the French Revolution. Since then, a number of handlers and owners of the diamond have met ill-fated ends. Skeptics believe that the rumors about a curse are nothing more than to help drive up its value. It's currently housed at the National Museum of Natural History in Washington. Number 5. The MYRTLES Plantation Mirror. Considered as being one of the most haunted homes in all of the United States, as well as the world, the MYRTLES Plantation is said to be a hotbed of paranormal activity. The home's history can be traced all the way back to 1796, when it was built on a Native American burial ground. Rumor has it that the plantation is the site of at least 10 grisly murders. It's said that a mirror in the home houses the spirits of a Mrs. Sarah Woodruff and her 2 children. Legend says that when they were poisoned by a vengeful slave, the mirror was not covered as is customary, which is what led to the souls becoming trapped. Some say they see tiny handprints appear on the glass. Number 4. The Busby Chair. It's hard to believe that, out of all the things possibly imaginable, a chair would be considered to be cursed, yet here we are. The Busby chair was the favorite seating arrangement for a man named Thomas Busby back in the late 1600s and early 1700s at his local pub, now known as the Busby Stoop. So much so that it's said the man ended up strangling his father-in-law for sitting in it. Other variations state that they were dealing in illegal ventures together, and the two got into an argument that resulted in the death. Busby was eventually caught by the police and was said to curse anyone who sat in his chair before he was hung. Many untimely ends have been attributed to the chair, and it was eventually hung on the ceiling of the Thirsk Museum to prevent people from sitting on it. Number 3. The Dybbuk Box. When a 103-year-old Jewish woman passed away in September of 2001, an antique dealer had bought a wine cabinet from the woman's granddaughter. She explained to him that it must never be opened, as stated by her grandmother, who said it contained an evil spirit known as a Dybbuk in Jewish folklore. The man put it in the basement of his shop, and that's when strange events began to unfold. He tried to pawn it off on his mother, who then suffered a heart attack and spelled out hate gift. Every time he gave it away, it was always returned. He began to see dark, shadowy figures and eventually sold it on eBay to a medical museum curator in Missouri. It currently lives at the Haunted Museum in Las Vegas. Number 2. The Real Annabelle. The real Annabelle doll is actually not as frightening to look at than the one used in the movie. Annabelle is really a Raggedy Ann doll that was given to a student nurse by her mother back in 1970 as a college going-away present. The girl and her roommate began to notice strange behavior surrounding the doll, and a psychic medium told them that the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins resided in it. The two girls then contacted demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren after the doll's behavior became more malicious and frightening. The doll was removed and is now being housed at the Warrens Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut, behind a sign that says, "Warning, positively, do not open." Number 1. Robert the Doll. In 1906, a little boy named Robert Eugene Otto was given a doll by his Bahamian servant. Now it's said that this servant was a practitioner of voodoo and black magic who cursed the doll as a form of revenge against her masters. Otto's parents began witnessing strange goings-ons, such as hearing Otto talking to the doll and believing it spoke back to him in too deep of a voice to be the boy's. Robert was moved to the attic where neighbors say they would see him move through the windows. Eventually, the doll was sent to the East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida, where you must ask him for permission to take his picture, otherwise suffer his curse. The letters behind him are of people asking him to lift his curse as they didn't listen.